while you are here, and from what I can see or what I know already, you find that those who have come from the northern part of Africa, western, eastern, central, southern, I'm sure you're going to discover many similarities, more similarities than differences, in my opinion. And for those differences, they are also positive. Being different is not negative at all. You are different in a way that there is something you bring to the table that, together with what everyone else brings, puts this wealth of ideas and whatever you may have in your mind together. So it's differences, it's similarities, but all in one, they are the same. They show how we can benefit from similarities as well as from the differences. That is one. The other one is hearing from the stories you've just told about your own experiences while you were here. I wanted to say that in any situation, anywhere in this world, you will find good things. You'll also find challenges, if you call them problems. So the most important thing is for people to be mindful of the fact that there are always going to be opportunities, so you need to seize the moment and the opportunity and move on. There will also be challenges, there will be problems, and you need to push back on them so that they don't stand in your way. You keep pushing until you get them out of your way and keep moving. So for Rwanda, which I may speak for more comfortably, we have gone through all this, so to speak. There isn't a bad situation that we have not had. We are like a laboratory here. And so everything has been tested here. The bad, the good, everything. We've seen it, we've experienced it, we've had it. That comes with, I want to insist, it comes with, in a way, a silver lining. We have had a tragic history here. We have had, even before the genocide, we had many other problems, post-colonial and so on. There were many problems. So today, where we stand, we've been shaped and informed by this experience, meaning we have drawn lessons. We have learned our own lessons from those bad experiences. The silver lining is that what we drew from that has gone a long way to make us better people than we were in history. That is, it's, as the analogy may be, when they say something has gone through the furnace. Huh? So we've been cooked and we've been put in the fire. Our feet and our hands were held there, and we only came out better. We didn't get crushed by this to disappear. We got better, and we are better people than now. Why am I saying this? I'm saying this to you young people. One, never to despair. Don't ever lose hope and think that the situation is helpless, is hopeless, and so all you can do is surrender. Never surrender to problems. You are better off dying while you are trying. Isn't it? Yes. But at the same time, I'm not saying that we should always have problems in order for us to get better. No, I'm not even saying that. We don't wish for problems. No, I'm not saying we should wish problems so that we are improved in our own lives. This is not what I'm saying. But I'm saying, since many times there will be problems, when they come your way, just stand up and push back and keep fighting until you go through that. If there are no problems, still don't waste that moment. Use it to strengthen yourself so that by the time you meet another problem ahead, you are strong enough to withstand any pressure that is coming from those problems. So you don't waste a bad moment, you learn from it, you don't waste an opportunity. You seize it, you move on. This is what I am saying now. The other thing is, these stories you have heard about Rwanda, or what you've experienced, or what you have seen, just know that we here in Rwanda, we don't feel that there is anything very special we have done. No. I'm saying that to mean that in other parts of Africa, wherever you have come from, if you face some of these serious challenges like we did, just know that you can also overcome them. If we did, you can. Isn't it? Yes. Absolutely. If we did overcome these challenges ourselves, thank you. So I'm really only saying that if we could make it, if we could do it, anybody else can. Yes. There is nothing you can say, no, it can only be done in Rwanda, it can't be done elsewhere. No, there isn't such a thing. And there are going to be different problems in different places as well. We had our own. Other people will have their own problems, but the way we overcame our own problems, so can anybody else overcome their problems. Isn't it? Yes. The other thing is, there are problems that are specific to different parts of our continent. But the more we come together and stand together, in fact, we find we have more strength to start tackling these other problems wherever they are. And in fact, they become smaller, isn't it? Yes, you see, if in your own country or mine, I have a problem and I'm facing it alone, there is probably less strength and energy than if 3 countries or 4 countries stood together against each problem that is found in this geographical space of these countries. So, and that is the idea, the whole idea about the African Union. The African Union came into being to say, you know, all of us, each of us, have our own problems. But the best way to tackle them, whether they are similar or different, is for us to come together. And then we are stronger against any of these problems or all problems put together than if we left each one to keep dealing with their problems alone. So this is the idea of the African Union. This is the idea that should lead you and drive you as individual young Africans, or better still, as young Africans together. So it's always going to be, if we work together, it's going to be better. But should we not work together still, I think these lessons serve to improve every individual, wherever they are, whomever they are. Of course, I'm sure you are interested in understanding, and you know this from your different interactions and what you are doing with or for the African Union. There have been reforms going on, meaning we are trying to have Africa, our continent, through the African Union, to have a different way of doing business that goes with the times. You know, what the time is today and the way we should be approaching things and understanding things is not the way of 20, 30 years ago, isn't it? Yes. So the situation, what we do, how we think, and how we act is going to be necessarily dynamic. It changes, affected by different problems and responding to different challenges of different times. So the main challenge for Africa, therefore, is this. Why should Africa act today like it happened 40 years ago? You know, there is always this question, young or old people must be asking ourselves. Do we, because if you look at the development of our countries, for example, right? You are very young for you. Well, I'm not very old. Don't be deceived by my gray beard, but I'm far ahead of you. But what I'm trying to say is, you know, 30, 40 years ago, let me use 40 or 50, the economies of our continent, our countries, our own countries, at that point, there was a level where we were that was the same level with some other countries out of the side of our continent. And those countries were at the same level 40 years ago have completely left us by far. 5, 10, 20, 30 times. What do you think is the reason? There must be a reason. So this is the question we must be asking ourselves as Africans. Why? Why for us have we remained the same or even degenerated? This is the question we have to answer. And this is the question we must ask ourselves. Why? Why do we, what's wrong with us? For those who believe in God, and many of us do, I think God gave us almost everything and just said, okay, you are left on your own, please use what I gave you to do and produce more and have more, isn't it? Yes. But for us, why do we keep going back and asking God to do more for us? When God gave us everything and put everything in us like the others. And we just keep looking back and say, oh, God, help us. No, God helped us long ago. and gave us this beautiful continent, this very rich continent, and gave us the brains and, everything else that human beings need. So we needed to put that to good use in managing ourselves and whatever you may have on your mind, and to say, then along the way, if there is any shortfall and the really insurmountable problems, then we can look back and say, oh God, help me on this one. But you can't keep asking God to help you on everything. When God equipped us with everything to meet these challenges, isn't it? Yes. And now you are aware also, you always read in the news, you hear all kinds of things, our young people trying to cross the desert and drowning in the Mediterranean Sea. What is going on? Where are these people running away from their homes? From our homes? Isn't it? I'm trying to ask myself, why are these young people drowning, running away from our homes? I imagine one of them or all of them as similar to my own children. So I'm saying, why are my children drowning in the sea, going somewhere else? What's going on? What is it that we can do to have our children stay in our homes and feel that these are their homes and they can meet these challenges, they can fight back on problems, they can enjoy the opportunities and thrive, and we build our nations, our countries, like other people are doing? This is the question we must answer. So the reforms you have heard about is not something superficial. It's about this thinking. Can we work together differently? Can we find more value in each other and work better together, trade with each other, be able to visit each other? The problems of visas. I hope they didn't ask you for visas when you are coming here. Did you have this problem? Yes? It is given on arrival. So you don't have to apply when you are there and then be rejected and then do what, because that is the problem we address. I was really getting worried that you had to that it is not working like that. Yes, but we are trying to say, no, these are Africans, brothers and sisters. Why do we need to, ask them more, like 20 questions, and before they answer them, you cannot issue a visa? It's not proper. And yet some people show up from somewhere else. For them, you are running after him or her with a visa, and they say, please, you have it. So why would it be like that? Yes. So it's a mindset problem. It's something we need to change about our way of thinking, our way of acting. Then the way of even managing our own resources, for example, at the African Union level. Each of us, each country, has something they can pay, they can contribute for the operations of the African Union. But we find that we have to wait until these good friends of ours we call donors give us money to run our business every year. You can imagine, say somebody contributes a building like this one and gives the African Union, and then we tell them, you have to be paying also water bills and electricity bills for this building you have given us. Can you imagine it? Huh? It's a serious problem. Yes. Somebody does me a favor and builds a house for me to stay in, for example, and say, it's a gift. You give you a house. And then when I'm in the house, I start telling the other one who gave me a gift, by the way, I don't have water in this house you gave me. So why don't you fix the problem? Then the next day you say, but electricity is not there. Why don't you? There must be something structurally wrong. Absolutely. So I'm emphasizing this and repeating it. For you young people to really try and think differently and do things differently from how we have been doing it ourselves. Yes. Do better than us, isn't it? Absolutely. Africa needs that kind of thing. That's when Africa will change. Otherwise, for those who will be still alive 40 years to come, possibly I will get there also. I'm not sure. I'm not very sure. But, but for those who will be there, I hope you won't be looking back and say, well, but this is where we were 40 years ago. No. Yes. We need to move faster, move correctly, move in the right direction for our countries, for our continent, for our families, for our friends, isn't it? Yes. So, young people, any experience, seize it, learn from it, and move forward by certain principles that will change your life, but the life of others and our continent as well. So each one has to do their part. We all have to participate, all of you, and all of us have to keep, and stop having Africa look like a caste continent. All other continents are blessed with hardworking people, they are making progress, they are developing, they are far ahead of us, and they are stagnating as if, no, God did not curse us. Actually gave us more than even what God gave others. So we should be proud of this, and we should use it as. So maybe let me not take too much time myself, but I thought I needed to come in, and then from there you can ask anything you want. There is no taboo about the question. Is ask anything you want, right?